And
okay, we're recording and we're live and our guests are in here and we're all good to go.
hello. I am going to go do links. So you go do your thing, Tracy. Get
all
us
right,
started.
Welcome to the Connect Show. This show we have every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And normally we have a John with us today, but John is not able to be with us today because he is somewhere doing a big video job where they have no internet, apparently, on some sort of ghost boat tour. So Kim is going to be John today, and I'm going to be Tracy, and we're going to have a great show. And we'd like to thank you for spending the morning with us. We recognize all the courage that it takes to get you to run your small business. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and every week we bring in different guests to help you manage your business.
So we always think it's great to spend time with all of you every Tuesday morning. The Connect Show is here to help you rise above the noise, share your message with the world. We do broadcast worldwide. We have had guests worldwide. So you're hitting the world today, everyone. If you would like to cover a specific topic, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com.
And since the birth of the Connect Show, which was last summer, we have evolved into a different media source. So the Connect Show with John and Tracy is a great show that is run by volunteers, but the actual parent company of the Connect Show with John and Tracy is called Connect Media Live, which is with John, Kim, and I. So what we've learned by doing the Connect Show every week is that this is a great way for small businesses to create content to get out in front of their followers. And we've created a way to streamline that process to make it real easy for small businesses to do the same thing. So if you'd like a company to come in and help you run your own show, Kim, John, and I can come in and do that for you. Everything from social media to website design, to the marketing part of it, to the getting of the guests, to the running of the video, to this Zoom experience right now, all the stuff behind the scenes, we can help you do your own show.
Heck yeah, how fun is that? I'm having some YouTube issues. My apologies. We want to thank our sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast from every day, every week. And I have something
most of the time,
except for today where we're live from Zoom, but that's okay. Expansive houses, MKE Video, Connect Media Live, The Connect Show. And they have locations throughout the country. It's a wonderful place to work and a great community to be a part of. So Mitch, who do we have on the show today?
All right. Well, thank you, Kim and Tracy and John. So Tracy, great job at being you, and Kim, great job at being John today. And I'll hold comment there.
You should spotlight.
Don't get anybody into trouble.
Thank you.
We've got a couple of great guests today as we kind of finish up our month of June and focusing on IT and different technological solutions. Chris McLean is here, and he is a 100% work guarantee getting IT done right. He's worked with Manpower, he's worked with Johnson Controls and more, and now he runs his own business. So he gets working on the corporate side of things, but he also understands creating your own business and all the challenges that come with that, especially on the IT side. He's also a volunteer with Milwaukee Film and Film Festival, which I think could be like a whole side conversation, because for those of you who don't know, whether you're local or not in Milwaukee, Milwaukee's Film Festival is pretty robust. So I'm sure Chris has some great comments on that. Gabriel Garcia is joining us as well. He's building businesses one text at a time. He's a business developer with Tech Studios LLC, and he works with clients all over the country. He also does quite a bit in the nonprofit and volunteer world with kids and getting them ready for the next steps in their evolution. And we're really excited to hear about what he can do in terms of getting our texting and text, however we're using texting to the next level. So we've got Chris, we've got Gabe, very excited for our guest today.
Thanks, Mitch.
Cool.
And now we're going to get our conversation started as soon as I see Kim again.
Here I am.
There she is.
I am.
So Kim, today's topic of discussion is texting and IT stuff. And we've had a lot of good presenters on about IT and learning a lot of good stuff about being careful with your IT stuff. But we haven't had too many people on about texting services yet. And texting, I think, is pretty IT-ish. So what do you think about texting services?
I'm so interested in texting services because everyone's always got their phone in their hand, right? So a text message, you just say, hey, text me at this, and I can instantly send you information. So cool, because everyone has a phone, just about. Even it doesn't even matter the age anymore. Everyone's got a phone. Even if it's a flip phone, they've got a phone.
And it can be pretty spontaneous. Say you're out at a restaurant or you're out in your car driving, and all of a sudden you see text this number, you can just do it instantly. Mm-hmm. You don't even think about it. You just do it because you want the information.
Don't text and drive though.
Yeah, don't. That would be bad. That would be bad. So I'm curious from people in our audience, what do they feel about texting services? Do they like it? Do they not like it? Does it bother them? Have they seen any cool ones? Who can I pick on first? Bill?
Let's pick on Bill.
I've got to be honest. Unless you're a personal friend and it's just informational, don't text me. I don't want unsolicited texts. I really don't. I like that part of my life to be personal. Email is one thing. Even a phone call is good, but don't text me.
Are you talking to like when you go to like if you sign up for a thing at a store or something, and then they start sending you random texts and you don't want those random texts?
Yeah. Because text to me is an urgent thing. Mm-hmm. I get a text because it's something I need to know right now that's not going to wait a half hour or something like that. So I treat it that way. And then I go there and it's a spam, and that does not please me.
But then if you have the choice to text for the information, is that different where you're not getting spammed back? You're actually specifically requesting the information.
Yes. If I've requested it, I mean, it's a great way to get information accurately without transposing numbers or something or copying things down. You get the information accurately, you get it right to you, and if I've asked for it, trust me, I want it. So it's a very, very efficient way to get the information to people who are actually seeking it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. How about you, Karen? How do you feel about texting options or services?
Well, part of me is with Bill. Okay. I block them if I don't want to get a text from them. Sometimes I will report them. It's like, yeah, I don't know who you are, so don't do this again. I use texting a lot on my phone though. I have 3 kids who are very busy, and I like to keep up with them and, communicate with them. So getting a hold of them on the phone is a bit of a challenge sometimes. So I will text them and say, hey, got a minute? I want to talk about such and such. I do text with my clients on a regular basis. That's part of my customer-centric experience with them. And I connect with them at least once a month, some people more frequently. So it's a wonderful communication tool for me to promote my business, to stay connected with my customers and make sure that they're getting the satisfaction that they want.
That's awesome. How does everybody feel about it when your phone changes the stuff that you're trying to text people? Like it changes all your words. You start writing something and it puts in a different word. Is there a way to turn that off?
I'll
Yes.
jump
Yes.
in on that one. That happens a lot. So I'm a little bit of a wordsmith. I go back and I reread my text, usually also to correct typos, because the O's turn into I's and the I's turn into O's and who knows what. But anyway, I will go back and reread it and go outside myself and pretend I'm somebody else. Does this make sense? Okay. Am I getting my point across? And I have to go back and have to change things quite a bit just to make sure that there's no double entendres or some way they can misinterpret it.
Good to know. Good to know.
And
I'll be
Tracy,
honest, I'm kind of a seat of the pants kind of girl, and I just let them fly. And then I'm like, oh God. Or when you reply to the group text and you didn't mean to reply to the group text, you wanted to reply to just one person. That's what happens with busy people, and you don't read stuff and you're like, oh God. You know,
Yeah.
that happens to me all the time. Bill's got his hand up. Let me add him back on.
Just an FYI, if I may, do not trust voice recognition, voice to text. Trust me, do not do that. And if you do, don't push send before you proof it real well.
Tracy, what I was going to say is it's hard enough with English, but I use English and Spanish on my keyboard. So you got to make sure you're on the right keyboard and you read everything and you put the accents in. So yeah, the predictive
man.
is tough.
And I thought I had it
Punctuation.
bad. Yeah.
Punctuation is so important. So important. Commas can really be your friend.
Yeah.
And accents.
Yeah, if you want to have fun, Google punctuation matters text messages.
Oh,
And
yes.
you will have months of fun reading.
I love it. I love it.
How about you, Mitch? How do you feel about texting, and do you like it? Do you not like it?
I mean, I'm a chronic texter, so I text all the time. One of my biggest issues with text, and I do a lot of talk to texting. I don't know if that makes me an old dad, but I know that my daughters make fun of me when I do it. Is that I've been texting with the same phone for however long, and I texted with my phone before that. You would think that Google knows me by now. They still spell my daughter's name wrong. Like I've said her name 70 billion times, and they still and I get that it's not a 100% traditional name, but it's not that hard. And if I autocorrect it, like if I correct it 70 billion times, don't you think that Google, which owns all of our information all the time and knows exactly where we are all the time, could get my daughter's name right? But with that said, I'm a huge proponent of texting. There are elements of it that I agree with Bill, that it can be very spammy sometimes, especially as we're, it's the end of June. So November's not that far away. I'm sure we're all starting to get political texts.
It's already happening.
Yep, it's already happening, which might have been originated from the candidate, but feel very spammy. But I do think there's a place for business usage, for staying connected with people. I do a lot of work with nonprofits, and we talk a lot about the difference between the nonprofit where you give a donation to and they call you once a year for your donation versus the ones that once a month or once every month check in, whether it's a phone call, an email, a text. I do think there is value in those touches. And sometimes, sometimes they're not the touch we always want. Sometimes we want a phone call and we just get a text. But I do think there is a lot of value in using texting to stay in front of our fans, our audience, our customers, our donors, whatever it might be.
Mitch, I want to piggyback on that because you're saying something really important. Is people want to text when they want a text. I think that's the most important piece. Is it's not about what we want as a business. It's what the customer wants.
Right.
And that's kind of where we fit in, is we want to make sure that the customer is actually listening.
That's a great way to
Otherwise,
put it.
it's
Thanks, Gabe.
always going to be spam, and nobody wants a spam message.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we got a good conversation started here about texting. There's a lot of feelings that go into that thing, into texting. But before we move on to our first guest, I do want to remind everybody that the Connect Show is a volunteer show. So Kim, John, I, everybody else on the show, Mitch, Sandra, when we're in the studio, Carla, when we're in the studio, and we have a whole slew of new volunteers stepping up to the plate, which is great. So I'm hoping the show's going to start to expand and get more noticed. Because really it is a benefit to all the guests that we have on here. It creates content. It creates a way for us to talk about our businesses. It's a really good opportunity for a lot of people. So if you're interested in being a volunteer on the show, please contact us at info@theconnectshow.com. We have volunteer meetings twice a month, and we do have a newsletter that goes out once a week that will give you the scoop on everything we're doing, so you can stay in touch with everything with where we're at.
Heck yeah.
And I think with that, we are off to our first guest already.
We are talking about internet security today. Are we? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm on the right thing.
We're down 16.
Thank you. She went far. She went far. Chris McLean is a passionate leader with a strategic understanding of business and IT concepts. I have a strong management, project management, and process knowledge skill set related to IT business. Chris also has an extensive hands-on experience with operations, application development, and oversight.
Welcome, Chris, to the show.
Let me get you up, Chris. Hang on just one second. All these screens, I tell you. There we go. There's Chris.
Hello.
So, Chris, how do you feel about all the texting stuff that they have out there today?
So texting, I think it's a fantastic thing to use as one of your tools in your belt. And the automation of it sounds fantastic. That's the nerd in me is going, oh, that's cool. And then I can see people's valid points about, hey, I don't want spam, but if you're, going for it because you're asking for it, you're actually opting into it. So you're saying, hey, I want that information. So then they'll send it to you and you know where it's coming from. So hopefully that alleviates some of those concerns that people have about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to switch stuff here. Go ahead. Sorry.
So how do you eliminate the IT headaches that we all have?
We do everything for you.
Okay, so you need to go into depth a little bit with that.
Yeah,
what does everything mean?
Everything. No. So basically, when you think of it, you have large corporations. They have an IT department, correct? So
Right.
They have, everything and anything you need related to whatever plugs into the wall. That's a computer or electronic type device, or all the accoutrements that go with it, like websites, the infrastructure, all those cords and cables that plug into everything, the things that connect to the internet, and things that want to get at you from the internet. All of that stuff is what we help to do. We help to create strategic plans to make sure that you're in place and you have what you need and you know where your goals are, especially now with a lot of the things that are happening out in the world. We want to make sure that we're saving money and doing things the right way. So that's where, a good plan comes into place, and goals and things like that help you to be able to do what you need to do, which is concentrate on your business and not the IT stuff. So we take all that and offload that off of you, because not everybody's always an expert in IT. You may know enough to get by, but sometimes there's regulations or there's, different things that have to happen, and you're not sure exactly the best way to do that. And that's where we come in and help you out, or we come in and help you out from, the ground up with help desk all the way through writing custom applications to, websites, so on and so forth. So that's what we do. And that's what I mean by everything is we do everything, including internal auditing and penetration testing and so on and so forth.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
So with all of that, everything, how do you help to secure our networks?
So how do we help secure your networks? Well, first thing we usually like to do is audit, or an assessment. So with that, we usually provide this free service to potential clients or anybody that wants it. And we give you a good overview of what we see as where you are in the ecosystem of security. So you may say, oh, I'm secure, but then we come in and we'll say, oh, well, you know, we did some testing, we found this, or we found, you know, these things are able to get through, or you're not securing your passwords, or, you know, things are set up just not right. Somebody might be able to get into this. And then we give you all that information. And then we give you a road plan, you know, a roadmap, road plan. Yeah, okay. Roadmap to be able to go along and kind of look at what's the best way for me to implement and solve these things. And it doesn't have to be with us, it can be with anybody. So we try to help you do that so that you have the information at your fingertips to make an informed decision, rather than being, well, I got to do this, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we try to do there.
So when you're giving them the roadmap,
Mhm.
then it's like a big audit that you give them. And so do you sit down with them and discuss and explain how all of that, you
Yep.
know, what the pros and the cons are of not doing certain things and then doing certain things, so then they get all their questions answered?
Yep, we try to anticipate that and put that into our report. And then when we sit down with somebody, we go through and say, here's what, you know, for example, you know, your Wi-Fi is open to guest access, right? So you have guest access, but maybe it's linked to your regular corporate stuff, and you don't want that because you don't want people getting into that. So we'll say, hey, here's why you would want to keep that separate. Here's why you may not be able to keep that separate. Here's the best case solution answer.
Oh, you
Oop,
muted
you're on mute.
yourself.
Yep.
Oh, I accidentally hit the space bar. I'm thinking my hands around. So, you know, here's the best case solution. Here's this, you know, minimum that you should do type thing. So we can say, we give them as many options as possible to be able to understand what's going on, as well as here's your best case solution, so that they understand this would be the best thing we could do for it. And here's the minimum we can do for it.
I love that you give them the why, because a lot of places just say, here's what you should do
Mhm.
and pay me. But if you give them the why, it makes more sense to break it down and really understand where they're vulnerable.
And when somebody comes to us, we don't look at it as, oh, we're going to do this for you because that's exactly what you want. We go, well, what are you actually trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish here? What's your end goal? And then we look back and go, okay, what solutions fit this mold, so that we can offer a better solution sometimes. Sometimes it is the solution that they want, but sometimes there's something better, and sometimes there's something cheaper too.
Mhm.
And that can be scary for some of these business owners, because they're thinking, I really want to do it this way because I think this is the best way that I'd like it to be done, based on the knowledge and experience that they have, thinking that they know their business inside and out. And you don't know their business, but you know IT. So you're looking ahead and forward, and you can say, but this really is the way you should be doing it.
Mhm.
And then they have to weigh out, what's the best route for them to take. So there's a lot of, and IT is like, you're probably jumping at a whim just to go out and fix their stuff at any point.
Usually,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very responsive, but we try to help you make it so that it's proactive by thinking ahead and doing things and putting things in place so that you don't have to be as responsive, except when something really goes astray.
So
Yeah.
with all of that, do you guarantee the work that you do?
Yep, we do
For
100%
everyone?
guarantee on all the work that we do. So if we don't do it right or something's wrong, we'll fix it.
I love that.
Well, can't go wrong there then, I guess.
Heck
So
no.
can you give us an example, before we wrap up your guest spot here, but can you give us an example of the craziest IT experience that you've had that you can think of?
The craziest one?
Or the most odd or weird, or something that you didn't think you'd ever run into?
You know, the cup holder comes to mind. You know, remember the old CD-ROM trays? People using cup holders.
You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing it a couple 2-3 years, you know. Those are some of the crazy weird things, but I mean, sometimes I'm clicking on something, you know, they're clicking on something and it's just, they're not actually clicking. They're using, you know, something else like an enter key or a space bar or something like that.
Oops.
Oh,
just simple things that some people just aren't informed on and they don't know how. I mean, there's been some things where it's like, when there's been viruses that have kicked in, and I worked for a corporation and we had to just go, okay, shut everything off now. And everybody's like, why? Because we said we have to, because otherwise everything's going to go bad, so those kind of things, so there's weird things that happen, and, it's hard for me to pin one down right now other than just those basic observations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. We do have a page on our website that has your contact information on there, your LinkedIn account and stuff like that. Do you have anything that you want to offer our guests who are watching this show now or in the future? Because we will be, your show will be live forever. But do you have anything you want to offer?
Yeah, we'll always offer a free assessment, which is usually pretty in-depth, and it's usually takes about 4 hours to do from on-site and off-site presence. So we're willing to do that, and then we provide the report and everything like that so that you understand what you need to do in order to move forward. It's not just network security, it's pretty much like an overall where are we now type thing with IT.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's kind of like what I do with or Kim and I both do that with website and social stuff, that total analyzation, is that a word? Of where they are now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then you can tell them all the different options on where they could go forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And let them choose. Exactly. Love it. Thank you so much, Chris.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And with that, I think we're going to go to Mitch for a networking report, aren't we? He's taken over my networking job.
Yeah.
Let's put him up.
Awesome.
Well, here's Mitch.
Thank you, Kim. And I could never replace you, Kim. So I see a temporary 1 week opportunity. You are still the bomb.com networker. Aww. No doubt about it. So just want to let everybody know about a couple of events coming up. This evening, Professional Women of Wisconsin. It's the fourth Tuesday of every month. It's a networking from 6 to 8 o'clock. That's going on this evening. Their website is pwow.org, PWOW, Professional Women of Wisconsin, pwow.org. And that is an in-person opportunity at Granger's Pub and Grill on Loomis Road in Milwaukee. So that is going on tonight. And Kim, I don't know if you had anything more you want to say about that event, but it sounds like a really cool opportunity for everybody.
That event, it's just a lot of fun. It's for professional women and not just small business owners. It's just a great space for women to feel comfortable, collaborate, and we always have a great time. So we have a new location this month. This is the first time we're doing Granger's. So
awesome. Fun. You said collaborate and then you paused, and I thought maybe you were going to go with listen, like collaborate and listen.
Stop.
Networking.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm with you. I got you.
Nice. And then as part of the Connect Show's brand, the Connect Show every Friday morning hosts a mastermind at 10 o'clock Central. And this Friday is July 1st. So it is a new month. So there is a new topic that is permeating the Connect Show mastermind, and it's going to be about sales concepts and tactics. But not only is it about sales concepts and tactics, but we're going to be setting goals and holding each other accountable. So when we're in this mastermind, we're going to be sharing a goal or a tactic or a concept that we want to follow through on. And then next week, we're going to be asking each other how we did. We're going to be reporting back to said mastermind about steps we took to accomplish this and what we still need to get done, and sharing some victories and discussing some challenges. But it's all going to be about sales, the sales process, sales tactics. So that's every Friday, 10 a.m. Central, right here as part of the Connect Show. And Tracy, I don't know if you want to say anything more about that very, very cool event. No, that's good. All right.
Yep, that sounded good. But you know what you could cover real quick is a recap on the picnic. How did the picnic go?
Oh my gosh. The picnic, which was last Wednesday, was fantastic. We held a a picnic on location in Tosa at the Connect Show offices and studios and at Expansive Tosa. And it was fantastic. It was a great opportunity. You know, I've been coming to these events for more than a year, and I've met Bill Sargent 100 times virtually. And it was the first time we had met IRL. And I think that's happening more and more with people these days as we come right back at you, Bill. That's happening more and more with people as we come to events in real life and in person, whether it's networking or whether it's going to a game or whether it's going to a community event or whatever it might be. There's a ton of value in virtual events, commute time, saving on gas, all that sort of stuff. But there's also a ton of value in shaking someone's hand, giving someone a hug, being able to see that they're taller or shorter than you thought they were, because we all see each other's faces, but we have no idea how tall each other are. But the event was great. We got to eat really good food that John made. We had a lot of bakery brought in. So I know I brought my younger daughter, and she had more than her fair share of cookies. And that was great. But it was just really nice for everybody to get together. So more of that in the future as well.
Love it.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch. Bringing Tracy back up. Here we go. Yeah.
And with that, we're off to our next guest.
All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is on you, baby.
Okay, but you got to bring up our guests.
Oh, I usually do it partway through. All right. You go, girl.
Okay. Gabriel knows the unique and difficult challenges organizations face in today's rapidly changing business environment. For the past 20 years, he founded, grown, and excited numerous companies, created a startup incubator, as well as several nonprofit service organizations. And in the tech space, his dreams have created enterprise, mobile, and text-based applications, and have designed and built some of the largest well-known properties on the web.
As a marketer, Gabriel specializes in best class automation, CRM, and client communication using SMS. Consequently, he's received national and international recognition for his work in the private, industrial, consumer, and educational sectors. After family, Gabriel's greatest passions involve growing businesses, mentoring students and entrepreneurs, and community building. Everything he does is driven by one question: how to uplift and empower the underdog.
Welcome, Gabriel, to the show.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. And welcome to Greg, your sidekick.
Hello, everybody.
So, Gabe, how do you feel about texting?
I think I feel the same way. I mean, I think the reason we exist is because there's too many people spamming, too many people using texting incorrectly. And we didn't actually set out to make a texting platform. We set out to make an educational platform that actually became a very powerful texting platform because it's not spam. So I think there is a space for broadcast messaging. There's a space for discount messaging. There's a space for reminders. But the biggest space is exactly what everybody else said in the room is, I want to text when I want the information. It's the easiest way to get the information. And that's where we focus.
So how are automation tools changing marketing and the client acquisition process? How can texting help with that?
Texting, I think, is part of it, but there's CRMs, there's email marketing, there's retargeting. Actually, for your show, you should try this. I Googled cornhole, like the toss game, right? On Facebook, well, I Googled it, went to Facebook, clicked on something, and now I have all the most amazing automated like marketing campaigns on toys I didn't even knew existed for the lawn. Right? Like there's all kinds of games, and I'm buying.
I saw a giant Connect 4. I'd love to do that.
Yes, it's kind of Connect 4. There's golf, there's soccer golf. And that's just like what automation is doing is they realize that you're looking for something, but there's similar things, right? Let's try to convert them because they're not Advertising to somebody that doesn't want your service is a waste of your advertising dollar. So you have to use the right medium, you have to be in the right channel, but most importantly, you have to have the right message, right? And it doesn't matter what automation tool you're using, whether it's email or even faxes. We have clients that actually fax and use automation tools to fax. It's still a thing, right? People say faxing. I was like, text messaging has been around since the 80s. That's why grandparents like to text. That's why kids can text. That's why everybody understands a text. It's been there before Google existed. So putting in your marketing campaign, putting in the right messaging, and allowing somebody to text, right? Just bolting on the ability that somebody can text can actually improve your ROI by as little as 5%, and we've seen as much as 800%. Same ad. So I'm saying automate, yes, but really think about where you're putting your message and take time to work with a professional to make sure your messaging is right. Bolt on texting, you're gonna get a better ROI.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So we kind of talked, you hinted a little bit. So, but how does SMS allow small and mid-sized players to compete on that larger scale, going from 8 or 800%? How does that?
That's what's so interesting, right? Texting is really affordable, right? If you have a campaign and you already have some customers, and you're already, I'm assuming you're marketing, right? You're already going to a networking event. You're getting on the connection. Look, we're doing it right now. You can text automation. You text automation, you're going to get tools that'll help you automate, right? And it'll go right to you. Somebody's opting in. It costs pennies, right, to get that. If you're selling a car or selling a service or selling your a professional service and you're running a Facebook ad or just doing social media, Facebook cannot remove your phone number and your keyword from your picture. They can block it out from your ad, from the text, because they have AI that can block out phone numbers. That's why people try to do funny phone numbers with like words and numbers, right? But that extra can get you one client. And if you ask any one of your customers or any one of your business owners saying, if I can get one more client a month, could you grow? And they will say yes, right? And the cost of acquisition of one more client is so tiny that it's just about being in the right place at the right time. We had a Girl Scout get in front of the congregation and tell the congregation, text cookies to my phone number. She got 3,500 text messages. She sold $30,000
I'm so jealous of that.
worth of cookies. So the little Girl Scout made $30,000. So it's not about the money. It's not about the size of your business. It's about really putting your message in the right place and giving somebody understands. And telling somebody to text me this is very easy to understand. So I think that's the tool for the small guys.
And it's so off of digital, like it's so off of social media. It's off of all that stuff. It's through your phone, which isn't connected to any LinkedIn or Facebook or any of that stuff. It's totally separated from that.
It's direct. It's direct to your customer. They opted in by saying, hey, I want cookies. Hey, I want my plumbing. Hey, I want a photographer. Hey, I want this service, right? A roofer, plumbers. I mean, we've got contractors use it by just wrapping their vehicle. And Greg, tell that story. I love that story. Somebody got a text, a roofer, right? Out in HEB or something.
Yeah, so we have a client that just took the truck right to HEB, the store, and was on off hours, right? Weird time of the day, and they're walking the aisles, and all of a sudden they get a text message. Someone texted in, and it ended up being resulted in a $125,000 roofing contract. And it just so happened at the time, the person who was responsible for fulfilling that contract was at HEB also, and saw that they could text in to get more information, because no one's going to call at some weird time of the night, right? 11 o'clock at night. And that's the thing that studies show, HubSpot study, that 85% of your prospects would rather text a business than call, right? And that's a huge number. So if you don't have it set up in some form or fashion to where people can actually text in to get more information, then you're making it more difficult for those people to find you.
Yeah, these guys, they sold me on this texting thing. I already have it. And I'm trying to sell all my clients on it also because it is convenient for the small business owner. It's not, you don't have to have a huge business to be able to use this texting service.
Yeah, it's
And
super
I like it that
affordable.
it's not spammy.
It's affordable. It's not spammy. One of my favorite clients, well, became our first clients when they said, this is marketing that doesn't gross me out. Right. And that's because we're not a broadcasting service. We're not a chatting service. And that fits a lot of businesses, right? If you're a dentist and you want to send a reminder, absolutely. Right. I think Karen was saying that she uses it to maintain contact with her clients. If her clients expect once a month communication, use those services. But if you want to grow, how are you going to text somebody that doesn't know you? Right?
Right.
You want them to have the opportunity to connect with you first. You don't want to buy a list. Don't buy lists, please. It's never going to be a good list. And it's only going to burn your brand.
Yes.
Right? One bad text can actually send you into a lawsuit because unsolicited text messages is illegal now, but it can also burn your brand. And, a lawsuit can be just money, and your brand is all you have, is your reputation. So keep it close and use the platform that really works for your customers and your prospects.
Something really interesting because of like what Greg said, Tracy and I, we work a lot with restaurant industry and their hours are all over the place. I mean, chefs could be in until midnight and they may not want to call somebody at midnight because they need that plumbing service or they need whatever. They may want to text or someone might be planning their lunch and the restaurant doesn't, or they might be planning their dinner, but the restaurant doesn't open until dinner time. If they do a text type service where they could get the menu ahead of time, it just increases a lot of business prospect for everyone.
I put an example in the chat of the texting phone number that I have. And if you text friend to that, you can see exactly how it works. It just sends a text back to you with the information that you as the business owner put in that. Like you control the whole thing. You plan it all out and you can use unlimited keywords, you guys.
Well, and back to automation, right? People have been creating these huge funnels. There's tools like Infusionsoft, which people call Confusionsoft. There's HubSpots, there's CRMs. But at the end of the day, if you can connect with that customer on a very simple basis saying, oh, you wanted to go to this networking event, here's the information. You wanted to go, you want to know what our rates are, here are our rates. How much is a headshot? Here's how much it costs. How much is a new valve installed on my plumbing, on my house? This is how much it costs. You will build so much trust that by the time you have the time to call them, because they may have texted at midnight, if you call them at 8 in the morning when the regular business hours, they're already open to you. You build trust, you connected, you didn't ghost them, and you didn't spam them. We don't even let you send a second text message because you don't need a second one, right? You should be able to do it in one, give them exactly what they're looking for. If they text again, give them another message. But that's how simple we call it a one text funnel. It's like 1-to-1,
Right.
get their number, get them engaged, have a new customer, turning them from prospect to customer in one text.
Amazing.
So if you could do one thing, Gabe, what would it be? One thing.
Okay, so from my experience, we've been around for 19 years. We weren't doing texting. In fact, we didn't let customers text us because I was like, wow, why? It's my number, it's private. All the same things everybody else said, right? Let your customers text you. Hands down. However, whatever method you want to use, right? Either incorporate texting into your marketing, but allow texting to be part of the business, because I have left millions of dollars on the table because I didn't let a customer text me for over a decade.
Yeah, as a website designer, let me tell you, you really get used to contact forms. And texting, it does not seem very normal to you. But as you're out networking with different people and talking with different people, the speedy connection is really what people really want. They want, whether it's through a Facebook message, a LinkedIn message, a text, something, it has to be fast. Whatever that communication is, I'm learning it. They just want it to be quick.
Right. Instant gratification, give the right information, in control. This phone number is my mini Google. I have thousands of keywords in there, and I can give you exactly what you're looking for, whether you're a prospect or a customer or an employee, right? I can have things that are private, things that are public. And then I don't have to sit around and try to like, oh, I'll find that email, I'll find that link. It's all right there. It shows a wow factor too that just makes people feel good.
Absolutely. I love it. Now I know, I don't know, we have a question here if we have a weird story about hacking, but more importantly, you brought Greg up here for some stats. So you decide. Do you want to talk about stats or weird hacking stuff? You decide.
Yeah, or a weird story.
You can do both. Go right ahead. We got 15 minutes.
We are part of AT&T. And so we see things before AT&T sees it, because a text message is not guaranteed to be delivered. So there's times where we just find something weird and Greg will send me a message, or Ansley or one of my team members, and they're like, why did this happen? And so we're at the forefront and we're actually solving problems before they happen. Greg, give us some stats, and then maybe I'll give my fun Valentine's Day story.
Yeah, but just something, stats, and you can do all day and it gets monotonous, but this is going to resonate with people, is that right now, every day, each person is exposed between 4,000 to 10,000 marketing messages of some sort, right? We're all bombarded, right?
I believe that.
Everyone's nodding their heads, right? And so the question then becomes, how do we as business owners, how do we cut through that? How do we really connect with people with where they are and the problems and issues that they're trying to solve, right? And make that connection. So that's actually really what we're all talking about, today. And but as far as just wacky stories, it is interesting because spammers and scammers and all that abuse texting so much that just because we're in the business, we actually see what goes on behind the scenes. And it's sometimes very hilarious, but it can also be very scary. So it's something that, from a business standpoint, that you just have to, just like anything else, educate yourself. But once you get the basics down, it's pretty much set it and forget it. And it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, you mentioned the spamming, and I can't tell you how many FedEx packages I have waiting for me. Like, I'm constantly getting a text saying that I have a FedEx package waiting, and I didn't order anything.
Yeah, I mean, those are the phishing texts are ridiculous, right? And you got to be careful because they look legit, right? It's another education. I'm glad that we've got Chris on the line too, because Chris, you can chime in on like how we're going to protect ourselves from these phishing texts, right? And educate clients and protect that.
Use a pencil and paper.
There you go.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear a crazy texting story?
Of course.
So we find out when somebody doesn't get a text because we're a one-to-one. And of course, like, our clients want their prospect to get a text. So they'll tell us when somebody didn't get a text, right? And it could be as simple as T-Mobile was, rebooting a server, or like a firewall thought it was spam. There's just all kinds of things between point A to point B. Well, this one point line was getting blocked every time. We contact them. We're not going to say the carrier. They rebooted the server. We're like, oh, yeah, there's a backlog of texts. Well, there was a backlog of over 300,000 texts. And when they rebooted, it sent them out. The server went down on Valentine's Day that year. We rebooted in August. So all these people got lovey Valentine's messages from people that they thought were ghosting them, from people they had broken up with, or they loved, or their daughter, or whatever. Well, it became like you can Google it and find it. And we're kind of responsible for rebooting the server. But all these people like kind of reconnected and like, we're like, I thought you didn't love me anymore.
Oh my God.
And it was a text message sent almost like 7 months later. And people forget that it's not as secures an email that's encrypted, that it'll keep trying to deliver it until it delivers, or it fails, and then it sends you a notification. It fails.
Right.
If you have an iPhone, you will know if it doesn't go through. That's why iPhone created the iMessenger. But a lot of text messaging carriers, they just don't tell you. They don't know. They don't know actually if it got delivered or not.
Texting is a best effort delivery system, kind of like
best
email.
effort.
Yeah.
Well, we delivered 300,000 text messages of love, maybe some hate, on in August.
Probably started with love, and they're like, "Why aren't you answering me? Where are you? You missed picking me up. We're done."
Well, that's a memorable story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any specials or offers you want to give to our audience today, or for anybody that sees this show in the future?
Mm-hmm. Text masterclass. We're coming up with a text messaging masterclass. You'll join the community. I will invite you to some of the events so you can actually see how to use text messaging in your system, in your organization. If you're a nonprofit, I will waive the setup fees. We'll get you set up as a nonprofit. If you're a for-profit, we'll get you into some of the master classes for free. So text masterclass, join the community, and we'll keep this open. What is it? 2022 through 2023. How's that? We'll put a
Nice.
close date.
Love it.
Yeah, because you never know, because you might be on the YouTube forever.
Exactly.
And we do have a page for you on the website also. It is theconnectshow.com/Gabriel Garcia, all one word. And you can find his contact information on there. And you will live on our website also forever. So it'll be a great source of backlinks for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for having us on the show. This was great.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you guys for coming on.
So much.
And guys, really, if you have any texting questions, you can come ask me, because I already have the texting service, and then I'll send you to Gabe and Greg. I think that's all we got for our guests today, but we do want to do a quick reminder about the mastermind event on Friday, which is all about sales processes. So when we talked about
and accountability, huh?
Yeah, sales and accountability. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of like was masterminded at the last event that people would like to discuss how to do sales processes more, how to become better at it, maybe make it more of a priority. And that's when we came up with the accountability part of it. So we're going to dive into some stuff that you're going to hold yourself accountable for, and you're going to make some sales after this mastermind.
And I've put that link in the chat for you. So go right on in there, register for it so you don't forget. Put it to your Google Calendar, add a text keyword, do what you got to do.
Yeah, we should start using texting on this Connect show all over the place.
I think we should, and I bet
we
will.
We used it for the IBM Madison show. We did use it for that.
We sure did.
For every break, we talked about the texting number, and people contacted us for information about the show. So it worked out great for that. And next week we have Jason Cronin and Adrian Daly. As we start our new month, we are all done with IT, because we all know everything on how to fix our stuff now. And we know all the people to go to get it fixed. So now we're going to work on ourselves. It's summer. We're trying to get tan, and we're trying to get in shape, and we're trying to work less. So we're all going to work on being our best self. And that's the whole month of July. So we have Jason Cronin is into fitness, and Adrian Daly is a small business life coach of sorts, but I'll let her tell you the rest of that. She's pretty detailed. But so I'm pretty excited about those two guests.
Me too. We also want to give another thanks to Expansive. Again, that company picnic last week was really great. And if you missed it, I hope you have serious FOMO from it, because it was great. If you don't live in the area next year, you have to fly in for it. It was really, it was
or maybe
really great.
we should stream it, but then you'd be really jealous that you couldn't
really
be there. You'd be
jealous.
seeing us and you wouldn't be there.
And Gabe talked about yard games, and I brought Giant Jenga, huge hit. It was played the entire time. If you haven't played Giant Yard Jenga, get yourself a set, because it's the life of the party. Bill has something to say.
Yeah, can
That hand
you
is there.
can you let me share my screen a second here?
Sure.
Let me
I think.
see.
Let me know when I'm there.
All right, you should be
Okay.
there.
Here we go. This is why you should be there.
He's going to show us a picture from the picnic.
Right there.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that a friendly entrepreneurial group of people?
It was a great time.
Don't
Such a
miss
great
it.
time.
Don't miss it.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
was a
for
great
sharing.
group. Well,
Yeah.
that is a wrap up for the Connect Show today, guys. So I am going to say goodbye to everybody and I'm going to stop the streaming. Bye, everybody.